It's strange that on Earth, most people are motivated by emotions. Yet most conversations are about facts, about logic, about events, and about other rational bits of information. So most people are driven by emotions, yet talk about rational bits of information. This is part of why relationships often don't work out. It's part of why people with substantially different viewpoints can never seem to convince the other person, even if one person very clearly wins a debate. After all, people talk about rational bits of information, but they care about their emotions. So let me share an alternative conversation method that you can try out. I'm not saying it's the only valid conversation method. It's not. In fact, in some circumstances and contexts, this is not a good method to use. But sometimes it's great. Many of you may feel the struggle of the choices made by the collective consciousness that may have a direct impact on what is unfolding in your personal worlds. While it is true that much of what occurs on the global stage can significantly influence your individual reality, particularly when there are intentional and systematic attacks on the populace manifesting in various forms, it is essential to recognize the broader implications of this dynamic. The actions and decisions of the collective can reverberate through your lives, shaping your experiences and even your perceptions in different ways. These influences can range from political decisions and social injustices to economic crises and environmental disasters, all of which can create a ripple effect that reaches into your everyday existence. This troubling phenomenon is a reality that is happening right now to many of you and is being allowed to take place by many individuals who remain largely unaware of the underlying currents at play. This can make people feel loved and nourished and cared for because people generally really enjoy it when others sincerely listen to them and try to understand them. It can strengthen relationships or friendships. It can lead to breakthroughs in discussions if people realize that what's actually going on is some emotional need that one side has. To be clear though, the emotional conversation method is not a universal magical fix. Maybe there's a practical problem and someone just needs to fix that, and talking about people's feelings doesn't by itself fix the problem. If you find yourself backing individuals or movements that inflict harm upon others in any capacity, it is crucial to recognize that you bear a degree of responsibility for the suffering being inflicted. When families are torn apart by the actions of masked officers, or when mass genocide occurs under the watchful eyes of those whom you support or follow, you are complicit in allowing this harm to persist. This is a difficult truth that many individuals struggle to accept. To navigate these turbulent times, you must stand firmly in the light. This path often requires making challenging choices or decisions that many may not yet be ready to confront. The incoming frequencies of change are relentless and will only intensify as time progresses. The truth is emerging with an undeniable force, prompting the question, are you truly ready to face it? Many of you who engage with these messages are steadfastly anchored in the light, while others may still cling to the vestiges of old programming that no longer serves their highest good. It is imperative to open your eyes to the truth that surrounds you. Be willing to receive new information, even if it contradicts your previous perceptions or beliefs. Awareness is key. Recognize that nothing can stop this transformative force, and ultimately every individual will be faced with their own choices. The time for awakening is now, and the path forward requires courage, openness, and an unwavering commitment to the light. You might also run into people who really like that you're listening to them, but they're unwilling to listen to you or try to understand you. If they consistently do this, and just gently asking them to listen doesn't help, then maybe find better people to interact with. You may also run into people who simply don't want to understand either their own or your emotions. So the emotional conversation method certainly doesn't always work and certainly isn't always appropriate. But sometimes it really is. And sometimes it can be really nourishing and relationship strengthening. I'm sure that some of you were already doing this. Kudos to you. But even for those people, I want to invite you to keep an eye out for situations where a discussion seems to go nowhere, and it might be helpful to try and understand how the other person feels. The lack of awareness among your collective has allowed for an environment where harmful agendas have thrived unchecked. Many people are caught in a cycle of unconsciousness, oblivious to anything beyond what their limited worldview permits them to perceive. In most cases, those who conform to the status quo of your world restrict themselves to a narrow spectrum of information sources, choosing to engage only with narratives that align with their preconceived notions. This behavior is not new. It is rooted in a long-standing programming that can be traced back to your historical influences, including religious doctrines and the control exerted by monarchs throughout the ages, which often relied on instilling fear in their subjects. You were conditioned to believe that questioning the chosen narrative was a sin, an act of rebellion against the established order. However, with the radiant energy of the divine light that is currently enveloping the earth, it is becoming increasingly challenging to conceal the truth from the masses. The veil has been lifted, and all truths are beginning to emerge with an undeniable force. This shift is part of a larger cosmic plan, as truth is a divine force that operates in accordance with divine will. Nothing can impede its progress. It is imperative you understand the implications of where you focus your attention and who you give your energy away to.